Hello, I'm Cassie and this is my second allotment video. Today I'm at my other allotment, actually my first allotment that I had a few months before I was given the other one, and I thought I'd give you a tour of this one. Thank you everybody who looked at my first video and gave me some really helpful feedback and some really nice comments as well. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm not here to be an influencer or tell people how to do things. I just wanted to provide a really relaxing insight into the calm and lovely world of my allotment. So without further ado, I shall take you on a little tour of this, my second allotment. It's been a really lovely day here. And the allotments though are quite quiet at the moment. The allotments themselves, that is. You may well hear quite a bit of background noise because we're quite close to the local football pitch, and on the other side of us we've got a lovely river walk where people walk through. So there's some people having a picnic there at the moment and so on. But I thought I'd show you this allotment from the way you walk in. These allotments are a bit different to the ones that I showed you the other night. They have been every allotment is fenced off so yeah, this is mine is the one with the bunting, the pretty girly bunting, and so we walked it this way. And the first thing you might notice is this lovely willow arch that my youngest made for me. Get a better view from it from the other end actually, but it's just a lovely thing to walk through to get into the allotment. So through the gate, and I'll take you up this side first. So here we have my raspberries. So there's two different sorts of raspberries, and on the right we've got some red summer raspberries, and then on the left, accompanied with the by now familiar weeds, we've got the autumn raspberries, which I did prune on some advice and against my better judgment quite severely, and I'm just hoping they come back because they're lovely golden raspberries and they're really, really tasty. They fruited over the last couple of years, and that I've had this allotment. They fruited in the summer and then also in the autumn. And next to the raspberries we've got some ginormous rhubarb, so I'm going to be picking some of that for my in-laws very soon because they like rhubarb. I have to say I'm not a fan. It was here before I came, so I didn't plant it, but it's looking rather splendid, even if I have to admit that. And both the raspberries and the rhubarb are accompanied by those lovely sticky bud plants, sticky willies as some people call them. I just call them sticky buds. So yeah, then this is a rather disappointing little bed at the moment. I haven't really worked out properly what I'm going to do with it. I have popped a couple of currant bushes in, so that's I think a black currant and a little red currant coming up there, and then I've just put some little herbs in as well, but as you can see there's raspberries and grass coming up, which is not my intention. It's been quite a difficult little bed, this one. Not managed to get anything very great growing in it, so I'm hoping that I can work something out. Although I can see a potato. There's a potato coming up. So that's some tarragon, some French tarragon that I put in, but I can't actually see. Those are those weeds again that come with the manure. And again, this bed here, which I do weed regularly, but they keep coming up, the dock leaves and the buttercups. This is actually just sitting ready for my beans to be planted, my climbing beans. I'll be building a bean frame for them to go up, and once I've got that up I'll probably plant other things around it, but I just didn't want to put anything in the way of it yet, and I've been waiting for it to get a little bit later in the year to plant out beans. I've got some growing in in the greenhouse, although I wish they'd get a wiggle on because they're being a bit slow. And then here, hold on, I'm just going to pause it a minute because there's a bit of noise. So here I've got some more brassicas at the moment, some cabbages and cauliflowers under the netting, and they look to be doing really well. Don't know if you can see them. I need to fix this netting down. I was just doing it earlier actually, but yeah, they're coming on really nicely. And some more broad beans. So yeah, as I said, I have got quite a few cases of the same crop growing in each allotment. Usually ones I really like, which is great, but I was a bit cautious because you always lose one crop, at least one crop each year. But over the last year or two that I've had the allotments, it's usually, if it's done badly in one allotment, it's done really well in the other. So I tend to double up a bit and see what happens, and worst comes to the worst, I've got a bumper crop that I can share with people. One of the nice things about this allotment is that there's quite a few wild flowers that just seem to creep their way into the allotment and actually just look really beautiful. Some forget-me-nots there, and I'm not sure what that is. Is it red campion? I'm not sure. Yeah, but lots of interesting things. And then here's my ridiculous purchase of a big raised metal bed, which turned out to be loads bigger than I expected, but that's okay. And I need to give it a bit of water actually, but so far deposited in it we've got some raspberry, 2 different sorts of thyme, and then in it, just still trying to get a bit established but not doing too badly, bless them. Got some sorrel there and some lettuces and some different sorts of beetroot, 5 different sorts of beetroot. I can see white Detroit, golden Burpless, sanguine, and what's that one? Oh, that's my mangel wurzels. I wondered where they'd gone to. Yes, I've planted some mangel wurzels. So that'll be interesting to see how those come up. I think I'm going to need to separate them out though. I think I've sown them thinking they were beetroot there. Oh, that's quite bonkers. Okay, and yeah, at the back, looking very sorry for itself, is some parsley, but do you know, it only needs one of those to take. I kind of oversowed them, and then they, oh dear, they're a bit sorry, but that'll be okay. Right, and then we've got my lovely shed complete with drainage system and water butt. Oh, and nestling down there, we've got a goji berry plant. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that has any berries this year. And apparently if it doesn't, you can eat the leaves, or even if it does, you can eat the leaves. So then this is a bit of a muddly section of the allotment where I've got my compost bins, a half-built arch which then fell into pieces and I had to get another one replacement, but I ended up with this one still, so I might salvage something from that for the other allotment. And then I've got a nice big plant of comfrey, which is really good for making comfrey tea as a fertiliser for lots of things. And it also has masses of purple flowers and bees, hundreds of bees last year. I just had to stuff it a minute then. There are so many people out today walking dogs and things, and obviously I don't, I have to get to see to them. I don't want to accidentally put them in the video. So yeah, we'll go back to carry on. So yeah, now this along here, this little fence and the archway, and in fact the side fences, they're all a recent addition. Until a few weeks ago, this end bit at the end of the allotment was just a wilderness of, well, I'll tell you what it looked like. It looked like that. Not the bird case, but a birdhouse. But yeah, it was brambles and old raspberry plants and just impenetrable. But a very lovely friend of mine who has a gardening business, he tidied it up for me and built this picket fence for me from pieces of walnut from the tree that I had in my garden that came down in one of the winter storms. So it's a nice way of preserving them. So I shall now walk you round what is called my little either an orchard or a sort of woodland area. It's still in development, but I love it. So let's have a look what we've got here. A stray raspberry coming up there, but not to worry. So I've got 6 different fruit trees. This is a plum, a ruby plum. They're all cordon, mostly cordon plants, which means that they're trained to go straight upwards and not take up a lot of space from each other. So that should be really helpful. And then this here is a medlar tree. I've got that right, haven't I? Yeah, a medlar. So you can see that's in flower. It's one that's about to come into flower at the moment. I think that's a petal from something else, but it is about to come into flower. And that should be really exciting. Then here we have an apple, and that's a Bardsey Island apple. So that breed of tree was found on Bardsey Island off the coast of North Wales, and it was the only tree of its type, and then trees have been bred from that ever since. So that's a nice connection with Wales. I've got some plants in here. Well, yes, I'll go through. I'll tell you them now. So I've put some flowers along the bottom of the trees because obviously the trees will take some time to come to full fruition. So I've put a few peonies and foxglove. Looking a bit short of nutrition actually, that foxglove, but I'm sure it'll pick up. Some salvia, some other bits and bobs dotted around. Oh, that one's not looking too happy. What's the matter with you, little fella? Anemone. That is a shame. Wasn't it very happy at all? Then there's these here, some muscari, and another dark anemone, which has done really, really well. That's really pretty. And then here I have a little fig tree. Sorry about the rubbish in the background and the plastic bits. This is all stuff that was retrieved from under the mess. And then, another peony there, small shrubs, and another, this is a cherry tree, so that should be nice. And I've got a rambling rose that I've put in to grow up that trellis and hopefully along the fence and between me and next door's compost bins. And then, recent construction, very recent construction last weekend of a little arch here. And against the arch we've got, very optimistically, a vine and a passion flower, which actually are both looking really, really healthy. So I'm hoping to train those over the arch. That should be nice. Okay, so like in the other allotment, I've got my bench. Really, really important for me because I do have a disability, and it's quite hard for me to be standing for a long time, so it's always really important to take lots of breaks and enjoy the peace as well. So I'll take you up the other side now, just in front of us here. Again, like I've got in the other allotment, some pea shoots, really just to cover the ground while we're waiting for all the other crops to be ready to put out. But they've given me some lovely salads, and you can't go wrong with onions. So those are some brown onions there, growing nicely, a bit more ordered than the other ones. And some very healthy looking shallots here, I think with a few leeks tucked in the background. So they're doing really well. And in between them I've also planted some seed onions, so that might be a second crop after that. And like in the other allotment, the first allotment, I want to put aside an asparagus bed. I'll see which one works. If they both do, then great. If not, now this one is doing really, really well, because only last weekend I put in the asparagus crowns here, and already each of them are popping up a little stem, apart from the middle one. There's one there and there's one there, so there's 4 coming up here. Now obviously I'm not going to pick them this year because the plants just need to get established. Something that's also doing a lot better here than in the other allotment, these lovely globe artichokes, and look at this one here. It's already got 3, there's one here, one there, and another one tucked away down there, 3 heads on it, so that's really exciting. Yeah, these were planted last year actually, and I think that's the only one that's got heads on it, but yeah, that's amazing. So those will be exciting. And then walking over here, I've got some potatoes growing in sacks, so they're looking very healthy indeed. And in between the potatoes there's a nice looking blueberry bush. And then I've got a strawberry bed which is doing quite well there, so that's nice. And my bunting to cheer the place up. And here we've got some carrots that I've put a light mesh over. They're coming up, 3 different sorts of carrots. I've got I think I've got purple, black and bright red carrots, so let's see what they come out like. More onions there, red onions. I suspect that those are going to bolt. They have done each year. I've grown them from sets. That's a little baby onions compared with growing them from seed, but it was worth a try, so there we go. Here I've got a bed that's just waiting. It's not even a bed, it's a piece of ground with some cardboard on it and a bag of half-used compost. That's waiting for another one of these little metal beds. It was supposed to be the big one that we looked at earlier. That was supposed to go in this space, but it looked ridiculous because it was loads bigger than the other one. And more broad beans. I think I'm going to be feeding North Wales with broad beans come June. I always oversow broad beans, but it's lovely to have something in early in the year. And then here in this little raised bed, I haven't quite decided what I'm going to put in it yet, but I have got some oca, OCA, growing. They look like clover actually, but they're a little rather more unusual sort of tuber plant. That little bright red tubers that you can use instead of potatoes. I'm just stopped there because I have just seen lots and lots of ants. I don't know if you can see them all. Look at them. I don't know whether that's going to be a problem or not, but they're all very busy and look very industrious, and I'm not inclined to disturb them. So let's have a look what we've got over here. This is kind of my flower bed for here. Again, I've got 2 rather pretty looking chalices for sweet peas to grow up, and oh dear, those are looking very sorry for themselves, but those are not. Those are looking much happier and taking a good effort, making a good effort to climb up, and that's lovely, because in fact those ones I think were the ones that I took from seed from here from last year, so they've done better. I'm going to have to do some serious weeding of this plot. It's had a few spring bulbs in. I actually don't know what that is growing over there, and that's some chamomile, which grows so enthusiastically there. And then I've got another rose there, and then we're back to the beginning. So that's my second little allotment, and I shall talk through lots of other things over the coming weeks and look at how I'm doing stuff and what's working and what isn't. But for now, I'll say goodbye and hope you enjoyed it.